Hi everyone, this is Lori with 3 Keys Astrology, and this is your weekly forecast for May 20 through 31st. Our month ends on a Wednesday, and remember, between eclipses. The good news is these eclipses are over with until October. On October 14th, we will have an eclipse, a solar eclipse. That's 21 degrees for Libra, so heads up, Libra's born around that time. And then we'll have a lunar eclipse um, on October the 28th. And heads up for we Taurians. If you are born at the end of April or early in May, the lunar eclipse October 28th will lessen your vitality um, and is a time of really a time to really boost your health and be aware of your surroundings and the company you're keeping, Taurians. We've been through a lot with all the fated changes that are happening in our horoscopes. So, though eclipses last 6 months to a year, Taurus and Scorpio are in the middle of those, as well as where the nodal axis is. Um, Saturday, this week's ending, go see the forecast last week. I hope you loved the energy of the weekly forecast for it. It was the best of May. This week, however, is um, Moody and these final days of May. And I'm going to give you a little breakdown sign by sign to help you understand the energy. The biggest events this week are that when this forecast starts May 20, the night before, we Taurians had a brand new moon. It was at a critical degree. So we are facing endings and brand new beginnings. The whole planet has gone through quite the cataclysmic change with all the death that we suffered on 2019 and 2020. It continued into 2021 because of the pandemic. This is rebuilding. Try to stay strong. When you hear news that's not the greatest, it's an opportunity for you to see how you can better the energy. So the final days this week also brings for us these last days of May, the final days of the sun being in Taurus. So those happy birthday to all of you that are late baby Tauruses, almost Geminis. And then on Monday, May 22nd, the sun ingresses into Gemini. So happy birthday, Gemini. Um, this next year for you is going to be a contest of seeing how real you are in a relationship. And you could be involved with squabbles that I'll talk more about, most especially these last days of May with Pisces. Friends, lovers, neighbors, frenemies. Gemini and Pisces are not getting along right now. On the Sunday, or it could be on Saturday, depending on where you live in the world, Mars moves into Leo. Now, this is excellent for you, Leo. You're going to have ambition, you're going to have vitality, you're going to have that get up and go that makes you want to achieve and carry things on. But, Leo, I'll tell you at the end of this forecast, when I give each of you juicy details, um, there are problematic figures in your path and who are standing in the way of your ideas, Leo. So pay attention to that. But this Mars that's ending these final days in Cancer is a very good thing for the planet. As I've told you, if you follow me along, when you're born with Mars in Cancer, I have 2 daughters with this. I love someone who has this. This is a very weak position for Mars. And when Mars isn't the warrior, a dignified warrior, like he is when he's in Aries, Mars and your aggression and your ambitions will be a bit conniving, a lot manipulative. So for the world at large, it's a very good thing that Mars is moving out of Cancer. Mars is a fire planet, Leo's a fire sign. This is very good for the world. It's excellent for military, for weightlifters, for bodybuilders, for people who own their own business, for bosses, and for any royalty, any monarchy that are left on this earth at this time and space. This is excellent for you. Now, for us commoners, um, the biggest events and where all the energy is focused is still with the fixed signs, most especially Taurus and Scorpio. and then Leo and Aquarius. Aquarius because Pluto's doing some revamping wherever we have planets in Aquarius. And Aquarians are really going to go through some major, major changes. You're getting a preview of what those changes are and what you need to rid yourself of. And you will keep going through those experiences through June 11th, which are a preview of your next decade. Um, Saturn is coming in hard on Pisces, saying, time for you to straighten up or you're going to lose out. And Pisces are going to go through some things. Pisces are going to experience a lot of death this next 2.5 years and endings. And Pisces are going to have to get really, really real about what it is that they want. So those are the biggest features of the week. Again, um, the only planet that we have in retrograde right now is Pluto. We don't have to worry about any more eclipses, but we will be feeling those effects. Taurus and Scorpio most especially, and then bounding out will be Leo and Aquarians, of these fated changes that we really don't have a choice over. Um, and so now I'm going to get on with the forecast, and like I told you, it's pretty moody, friends. Um, and it's quite. Oh, the other thing I want to say is I've. This is going to be an echo. You've heard me say this before. Taurus, new family members are coming into your sphere. So if it's a marriage that's bringing in a best friend or a new sister-in-law or a new brother-in-law, brand new babies, brand new grandbabies, Tauruses, get ready. And please comment below if that's already happening because it's in the works. All right. So for the dailies, I don't love Saturday the 20th, but you will have loved last week. So hopefully you'll still be in the afterglow of that best week we had all month of May. Saturday the 20th, however, we've got the biggest change is that the moon or Mars is moving into Leo. And the problem is at 11 o'clock at night, that's in opposition to Pluto. And that's brutality. That's a brutality signature. That's a signature that you don't want someone you're in love with to have in his or her chart because it's very combative. And that's going to be a very bad thing for factions against each other. And they exist on this planet today, unfortunately. The moon squaring Saturn means a lot of death in the populations that are at war, where combat's going on. And overnight's going to be tough for emergency room workers, anyone in the emergency services, all military, police. That's tough. On Sunday, evening, things aren't so nice either on the 21st. But one good thing is that the sun isn't a trine to Pluto. And this is excellent energy for celebrating the accomplishment of graduations. It is excellent for fathers and sons, males in general, fraternities, brotherhood, anything like that that has to do with um, a group of males, most especially, serving a cause, but it's great for anybody that's been undergoing interpersonal self development, whether you're achieving through education or it's also some nice psychological breakthroughs, especially for males, for fathers. This is great for the husband population. Um, and then on Sunday, like I said, the sun moves into Gemini. Overnight, this is where things begin to get tricky for most especially Gemini and Pisces. So the moon's going to be in Gemini, which is going to be squaring Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And Saturn's putting the kibosh to you, Pisces. It's do or die. Unfortunately, that can mean ill health. It is loss, but it's reality checks. So if you're one of those fishy, floppy, slimy, sloppy Pisces, you're not going to like what this next 2.5 years is bringing to you. It's time to spiff up and clean yourselves up. That moon square Saturn is also being deceived by it's emotionally quite painful, and it's a deception factor, and it's something that Gemini and Pisces need to be cautious about. So comment below if you're in a marriage or in a loving relationship where one of you is a Gemini and the other of you is a Pisces, because actually there are four of you interacting with each other because you're both twin signs, and that can be quite the schizophrenic relationship. All right, on Monday the 22nd, now the moon is in Cancer. So, of all the days, I really, really like this day. And I'll give you a shout out, Cancer, and tell you why it's especially wonderful for you. As we go, actually, the whole month is. I'll just give you the secret now. Venus is in Cancer. So if you have Cancer rising, Cancer sun, moon, or stelliums in Cancer, you have abundance and prosperity pouring all over you. You will look more beautiful than you do any other time of the year. You will attract a lot of goodness. And I hope, since it's a sign of mommies and babies, that all the mothers listening to this video feel treasured, loved, and cared for. The only thing that is a potential problem overnight between Sunday and Monday, we have the moon in an in conjunction to Pluto, and this is that signature for the abused woman. And it's again a deadliness for those factions in warring countries. Again, to repeat what I said about Saturday night, overnight workers who fight crime, the Crime Stoppers, and those people who are in emergency services are going to be very busy. But as the day turns to dawn, there's so many wonderful things about Monday the 22nd. Um, the happy Cancer moon is sextiling Mercury, and that's great for nursery schools and story time and mothers and children and the public with children, watching children really at their little dance recitals and their little sporting events, and any celebration of a child is great for that. The moon's in a trine to Saturn, and that's wonderful because you're making your mom feel loved. You're making the public that you belong to feel appreciated, and you're making bonds in your groups, in your neighborhoods. This is excellent for home improvement. This is a signature for people that are contractors and people who repair homes. This is great for for the real estate market. The sun is in a sextile to Mars, and this is unstoppable energy and achievement. And then the moon is sextiling Jupiter, and that's heavenly blessing. So I love the 22nd the best of all for this forecast. There's another day, the 24th, that's got some very nice features. But I wrote boo for Saturday the 20th. I wrote boo for the 25th, the 26th, and the rest of the month is a little bit iffy. But as I said, moody is the word. Um, on Tuesday, the 23rd, that wonderful energy that's spilling over from the 22nd is really very nice. The moon is going to be in a conjunction to Venus, and this is very loving energy. This is what is compassion. If you could define compassion in the dictionary, you would have moon sextiling, or conjunct Venus. This is great for the market, for the public, for economy. This is great for home improvements once again. Make your home beautiful, make the land beautiful. It's a great day to landscape. The moon's sextiling Uranus too, and this is incredible ability to just plain understand. You're going to get a lot of spiritual insight if you take time for meditation, contemplation, and prayer this day. The only trouble is, and this is for you, Leo, and for you, Taurus, most especially, you're going to butt heads. And both signs, Taurus and Leo, are bossy. Both like to be the boss. They like to be recognized as authoritarian. Leo wants adoration, and Taurus wants you to just leave them alone and do whatever they tell you to do. They're not necessarily looking for adoration, and they're not going to get along on this day. So I have a daughter who's Leo. I'm a Taurus double. This would be a day that I would avoid seeing her since she's an adult and I don't have to live with her. And she would feel the same way about me that day too. So comment below if you're a Leo or Taurus and you've locked horns with a lion, or a lion scratched your horns off, or however those ordeals will go, because that's not too good for the early part of the day on that day. But again, overall the day is very sweet. Um, Taurus, I guess I would ask you, you're ruled by Venus and she's in Cancer. So, Taurus, if you're going to contest with someone who's trying to outwit you, boss, this is authority figure too. Neither of these signs like it when their boss tells them what to do. So, you, Taurus, and Leos will be having that kind of a day. What I would ask you to do is be like Venus in Cancer and try to look at the other person who's trying to pull your strings or wind you up. Um, I would ask you to try to look at them as though you were their mother and try to understand why they're being so unruly or overbearing or hypercritical or impossible. So Leo's going to want to go, go, go because Mars is there and Taurus is like, you are driving me crazy. Leave me alone, Leo. I just want to be outside planting my flowers and hanging out, making some cookies and making dinner. Why don't you just go be the big hero you're trying to be and leave me alone? That's the square off they'll have with each other. On the 24th Wednesday, I love this day overall, but we got a little tricky energy. So let's talk about it. First of all, I love, and Leo, now if you took the advice of this horoscope and you also saw your place in letting someone else be the boss or saying, okay, all right, whatever the boss says that you really don't want to do, just do it, get it over with. If you've done that, you're going to really like this day. And I would encourage you to hang around a little bit of Pisces people. We have got the moon in a trine to Pisces. We're going to be dreamy. These are the days when you feel floaty, when everybody's kind of not paying attention. It's great for your imagination. It's great to binge on your favorite movies, read a collection of your favorite books, write stories, make stories, tell stories. Great to hang out with family. Wonderful for looking at photo albums. This is wonderful, dreamy, sweet energy that's very Piscean. But then we've got the moon in opposition to Pluto at 11 o'clock in the morning and in a square to Jupiter. And this is really someone trying to outmaneuver you and somebody really pulling the rug out from under your feet, especially if you're a Leo. So if you're already in a tenuous position at your workplace and there's one person that's your antagonist, identify that person and try to do your best to sidestep any of their impossible tactics because it's a day. The good thing is at 3:30 in the afternoon, the moon is conjunct Mars. Now, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leos, we love this energy. This is the gasoline that lights the match of our desire, of our fire, of our passion. And this is the unstoppable energy when you finish a marathon, when you completed that degree, when you've fixed or repaired something. Mars and the moon together are, it's mother bear energy. And it's very protective, it's very courageous, and if you were born with this, you will protect your family at all cost. This is very good for protecting your family, as a matter of fact. So those of you that are involved in any court squabbles or any contests over ridiculous things, hopefully it's not over children. That's never ridiculous and that's very horrible. Um, but this is a day for winners, and it's heroes energy actually, and everyone should be a hero in their own life. The other nice thing is at dinner time, there's lots of harmony for families. And the overall day is great for family and for the public. Other than Leo's going to have a little trouble with Aquarians, and Leo's going to have some more trouble with Taurus. So this is that. Leos are stubborn, Taurus are stubborn, Aquarians are stubborn. So if your family members are composed of such forces, that can be troublesome. But I hope you jump in with the rest of us and enjoy the goodness that is the 22nd. I like the 23rd, not as much as the 22nd. I love the 22nd, and I love the 24th overall. Now we're going to get to the crappy days. The 25th on Thursday and the 26th on Friday. I don't like it all. Um, I do again encourage Leo to be around Pisces because there's some nice harmony and the calm that Pisces bring by their gentle, softer ways than you have, Leo, and their ability to adapt and um, be flexible when it comes to difficult situations is something that you could benefit to learn from a Pisces. Flexibility is what you're going to need, Leo. But for all of us, um, this can be a day of a lot of misunderstandings, and it can be a little bit of a hard day. Thursday, lay low, all signs, I would say. Most especially the fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. But for everybody, it's a day better to be thoughtful and not so pushy. The 26th is even harder. There's going to be a lot of discord, manipulation, a lot of mayhem, and public unrest. We have the moon squaring Uranus, which is all of a sudden, this is explosive energy. And in war, whether it's civil war or in civil, supposedly respectable institutions, which our governing forces have shown us, respectability got thrown out the window in the last 20 years. But so in public forums, we're going to see um, like bombshell revelations and some shocking events on the in the public at large that's at war. Those factions are going to literally have electrical outages, explosions. We're going to have lightning on Friday the 26th. Mark my words, and erratic weather. The moon's in conjunct Neptune that day too, and that again um, is a cautionary tale to say if anybody's putting the pressure on you to make any decisions on that day, reserve your opinions, all of you. I would reserve my opinions until the end of the month. You're going to see a lot of what's been niggling you um, come in little increments, little snippets of things that are going to determine where you need to go. And all of that truth gets revealed to you by the end of the month. So, yeah, Friday's no bueno unless at nighttime, if you're single, I'm going to encourage you, or if you've been longing for love, or you want someone to love you, Friday night, go out. And you could all of a sudden be struck by Cupid's arrows. So that's a really nice thing that's going on. And the other good thing about that is, especially Cancers I'm talking to and Tauruses, we're signs who want love and need love. If you're longing for love and you're alone, this is a good night for you to reach out and ask friends or family if they know anybody that they think that you would be compatible with. I ask you to dare to do that. I think also that um, you two signs, this is a really nice night for you to be a little carefree, a little zany, maybe do something you wouldn't do before. Have fun with that night. I highly encourage it. On the 28th, uh-oh, where did the 27th go? I guess you guys are going to have to fend for yourself and figure out what's going on the 27th. Oh, Mamma Mia. I'm not going to go redo that. I can't look at that right now. I have to do a reading after this. So just wing it on the 27th. I apparently forgot it. Maybe that means that we should all forget it. Um, and just go with the flow, whatever that's going to be. On the 28th Sunday, I like mostly. But overnight and in the early part of the morning, this is when you, Gemini and Pisces are not going to get along with each other. And this is fathers and sons at war with each other, and male energies um, trying to topple over each other and contest each other. And that's not good. But by noon on Sunday, it's really good. And it's a wonderful day for you to do something really nice for the women in your life, for sisters to be together, for family to have harmony and really good times together. And if you don't have a lot of family and you kind of are going solo in life right now, and that's pretty wonderful for some of us, we love our alone time. This is a great day for you to research and to think and to write and to pray. You're going to get a lot of insight. There's a lot of good dream journaling that you should be doing these last days of May from the 20th through the 31st. And the sky is pouring meteor showers and all kinds of exciting things are happening up in our heavens. So if you're bogged down by what's going on Earth, I always encourage you to get out a telescope and watch the show that is the night sky. You'll be mesmerized. Now, the 29th is Memorial Day, and on that Monday, I can tell you that it's mostly it's a little problematic. This day is very, very moody. I guess I'm just going to come right out and tell you. Um, Again, this is a day when Pisces and Gemini are not going to see eye to eye. And Um, and it's half and half, Moody, half and half. I've told you before in videos, one of my very favorite conjunctions after Moon with Neptune is the Moon in harmony to Pluto. And this is the most powerful emotional energy that is for healing and loving and commitments and overcoming anything that was emotionally painful. That's happening on Memorial Day. So there's an opposition of the Moon to Neptune, and that's where I'm again asking you to reserve your opinions. You could be hearing some things at family get togethers that aren't quite right. There can be deception going on behind the backs of any group gatherings and any family. The whole story is not right out in the front. So just know that for those of you that are sensitive signs like myself or are gifted intuition, you'll already know that something's up, and so what? Shame on liars is really what it all boils down to. But we don't need to be in their company. And because so many of the planets are anaretic, a lot of us are choosing not to be there. And that's a very freeing and good thing, that Uranus is trying to give everybody, to be with people that love you and respect you and validate you. And if you're being lied to, cheated on, deceived, betrayed, what are you doing? Don't let that happen in your life. So Memorial Day, the other thing is we've got the moon in conjunction to Jupiter. That's again, um, that can be an arrogance or some things going on behind the scenes that aren't quite right in the family, and the whole story is not being told, or there's one-sided preferential treatment, or just, you know how some family members are. They're our favorites, and some people just refuse to see that their sweet little son or their sweet little daughter could do any wrong. So some of that might be going on. But then the moon is sextiling Mars again, and that's that same vim and vigor and energy and goodness. That's that protective energy, that energy that's wonderful for family. So Memorial Day is half and half, a little bit moody, a little bit sweet, a little bit sour, a little bit questionable. Questionable. Stay in that thought process and don't make any major decisions these last 11 days if it's possible. On the 30th, Tuesday, we have a beautiful trine between the sun and the moon, and this is harmony between the sexes, parents, husbands, and wives. But we have some difficult energy with the moon over children. So our little ones can be behaving a little bit erratically and misbehaving flat out. There can be difficulty with siblings, brothers and sisters this day on Tuesday the 30th. And then the moon's in conjunct Saturn. This is not a good day for the market. I would be very cautious and very, this month, especially Leo. I think Leo, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, I would be very, very cautious with your financial matters. There's some great energy that's going to tempt you to go strong that you're going to regret that you did later. So there's some really, really good energies for Cancer, Tauruses, and Pisces right now, but for your temptation might be bigger and greater, and you might be feeling a little more inflated than you need to be, when you should stay on the side of caution. The final day of the month is a rough day. I don't like this day. It's we've got the moon in conjunct Uranus squaring Venus, in conjunct Neptune and squaring Pluto. So the public at large is really taking a lot of guff. The political atmosphere is a mess as usual. We shouldn't be surprised about that. We're not being told the truth about a lot of things. And I think that if you're in groups of people or working around anything where there's any kind of unrest, whether it's at your job or some problems within the family, because this is big family problems, do mark my words. If you're living in a dysfunctional family, if there are family members who are alcoholic, or moon squaring Venus is also deception in love affairs, or there's mistruths and half truths and omissions of truth. This is a pretty rough day, Wednesday. I think that overall, I would ask you to opt out of choosing to fight these battles that are never ending. And how do we know when we're in a losing battle? Well, one of the first clues is that the same mistakes keep cropping up. It's the same old story. It's a recording of, it's a broken record story. It's the same issues. And 10 years later, you wonder why you're still there, why you're still miserable. So I would just say, this week, these final days, there's some lazy days, there's some days that are really good. I want to emphasize again that I love um, the 22nd. 23rd can be really good, and I love the 24th. Memorial Day is half and half, but we have some difficult energy. And um, if you are someone who's overcome these issues in the past, why don't you come and join me and become an astrologer? It is part of our job to do consultation and advisement. And if you're, over the age 40, and you've lived a little bit, you'll be a better astrologer just by life experience alone. And you'll be on the side of the cure or experience to say, gosh, I was married to an alcoholic, or gosh, um, my family and I just didn't seem to get along at all when I realized blank, blank, and blank. And then the worm started to turn, and I realized that if I didn't provoke or push or ignore, a lot of family members don't speak to each other. And that's really not in God's plan. So I would ask you these last 11 days to opt out of any family battle or any contests at work. And then now I'm going to give you the juicy little details that I promised you at the very end here. Um, these are just tiny little snippets. So remember, if your three keys, your sun, your moon, your rising sign, are in the sign I mentioned, or if you have a stellium, which is a cluster of planets in any of these signs. So I'm going to start with Aries, and I'm going to say that you should celebrate on May 25 and 26 because you've come through a lot of rough stuff, most especially with those Capricorns in your life, and went through some major rough patches in February and March that I want you to celebrate on the 25th and 26th of May. You deserve it. You're a hero in your own mind, always, Aries, and we get a kick out of you anyways. You're always a lot of fun. Mars is moving into Leo, which is going to benefit you. So all of that ambition you have and all that pent-up energy that you're ready to spend, let it rip. All right. If you're a Taurus, you're really going to enjoy the 27th, 28th, and 29th. Um, as you know, you had a new moon on the 19th of May, the day before this forecast starts. As you know, fated nodes are all around you, and you're opening doors and closing doors that need to be closed. And Venus in Cancer complements you. So pamper yourself a little. Go get your hair done, buy some new clothes, and enjoy yourself with family, friends, and all that yummy good energy that the 24th brings will also benefit you. So enjoy the 27th, 28th, and 29th, Taurus. Um, Cancer, rest and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Love is all around you. Because Venus is in your sign for the rest of this month, you're literally glowing with natural beauty. You should be feeling very loved and cared for. And I say to you, well done. Um, Choose harmony more and often. Really enjoy your family. Now, you can have there's a little bit of edginess because Mars is moving into Leo. So, I know that you're in love, and I know you're feeling loved, and I know you're feeling cherished. If you're in a new relationship, Cancer, especially Cancer rising, expect this next few weeks. There are patterns that happen in relationships. Psychologists know these things, sociologists know these things, and so do we astrologers. I'm going to tell you that where Mars is, you're going to have a little bit of extra spice in your romance, but it's going to come with a little bit of conflict too. Now, Cancer risings, um, people mistakenly that believe in pop astrology and don't know advanced techniques and things about us, Cancers are pretty ambitious people. The old adage that we're sitting in the chair rocking babies or in the kitchen baking for our family or caring for people in nursing homes isn't really the truth. Yes, we're compassionate. Yes, we're caring. And yes, we do want the best, most especially for our family members and people we love. But the truth is, we're quite ambitious. And Mars, in the position it's in right now, is going to ruffle our feathers a little bit. So, heads up, Cancer. All right, Sagittarius. I know I'm not going in order. That's going to make you pay attention. This is one of the teaching techniques that I do if I teach you astrology, that I did raising my daughters, and I did when I was a substitute teacher. So your mind's going to want to listen a little more because I'm not giving you order. So hello, Sagittarius. Like Aries, you're going to love Mars and Leo. The 30th and the 31st, I encourage you to really get honest with yourselves and take some downtime. Um, Pisces, people are not really your cup of tea. Your energies are very different. And Gemini people can really get under your skin because, frankly, the things that they want to do and things they want to talk about with you are a little bit too elementary for your intellect. But you push it, Sag. You, like Virgo, will go and go and go and go. And even on your last day, you'll still be thinking of the 10 things you didn't get finished. So I'm asking you to really get honest with yourself and take some downtime. The nodal axis in Taurus and Scorpio is uncomfortable for you. So these last years and what's going to go on now for the next couple of years are offering, you're going to go through major changes. Um, I'll be more specific when you get readings and I look at your very own chart. But Pluto in Aquarius is going to be helpful to you. I've mentioned that in prior readings. Sorry, that was probably going to make a thud. Oh, my microphone's not even on. Okay. All right. Oh, it's coming off and going on. I bent the connector. So there we go. Let's see if you can hear me better. Anyways, Aquarius, the Pluto in Aquarius is going to put you through some major change, Saggy. And my best recommendation for the end of the month is for you to rest. Now, if you are Virgos, you too are in, as I said to you in your last videos, like Sag, are workaholics. Did you answer any of the questions I asked you about workaholism in the last videos? I mentioned it a few times. I recommend that the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, that you really take some me time and rest and reschedule, reorganize, and I would ask you to steer clear of all Pisces, all Gemini, and all Sagittarius people right now because you frankly don't appreciate the noise that they make and and you need some restoration. Um, and I highly recommend that to you. Um, Now, on the 25th of May and the 26th of May, Libra, you're going to be thinking me or we. What's it going to be, Libra? You're really going to be pondering that. So those are going to be a couple of difficult days for you if you're in relationships or if you've been struggling in a relationship, and it could be with a family member, but it's most likely a romantic or marital relationship. If you're Scorpio, May 27, 28, 29 are going to be tough. And I got to ask you the question, though I already know the answer. Are you holding grudges, Scorpio? Well, how heavy are they? 100 pounds, 500 pounds? Are you carrying around a ton on your shoulders, your neck, your back? Can you finally put down the old grief, the old grudges, and the baggage, Scorpio? I don't know. You like to hang on to that kind of thing, and you have closets full of it. So I know in past videos I seem like I'm lecturing you. I really, really like you. I like people that are passionate and intense. That's you. And all of you that are ruled by Pluto. Um, and now Aquarius is getting a huge dose of what that feels like. But the truth is, where Pluto is, Scorpio, you gotta let it go. Or you're gonna have neck pain and back pain and headaches and a lot of stressful tension that you don't need, most especially 27, 28, 29. I would also ask you on those days to stay away from any crowd mentality. I know you'd rather be alone than to be part of the crowd, but you can get all caught up in your anger and be having bitch sessions with fellows or fellow gossipers or whatever, or family members that like to talk to other family members, and then two families hate each other like the Hatfields and McCoys. So you have to be very, very careful of that, Scorpio. And for everybody listening to this video, if my microphone is popping in and out, I apologize for the quality of the audio. I do have to get something better here going. It's not working. All right, if you're Capricorn, I have talked to you a ton in this last couple of years about your habits to hoard. You got them. And you're the sign of all signs, most likely. And this is rising signs, suns or moons in Capricorn. You're the most likely to have memorabilia from 70, 50, 40 years ago. And Cappy, Pluto came into your life to help you clean up your basements, clean up your closets. Give those memoirs to family members that are young. Donate those things. You can't be buried anymore. You're bearing your intellectual capacity, your ability to relate to other people when you hoard and clutter your life. Pluto's here until June the 11th. Get stuff out and I mean make it a big goal. Give yourself a deadline, Cappies, and start emptying stuff out. Get rid of it. You're going to have another chance, your final chance. But if you don't get rid of it between June 11 and January 1st, you're probably not going to get rid of it. And then you're going to leave your family members the burden of having to clean up after you, which doesn't make anyone remember you fondly. So please do that. I know this was a little lecture to some of you signs. Sorry, Cappy. Sorry, Scorpio. Sorry, Gemini and Pisces. Sorry, but I'm telling you the truth. Um, if you're Leo, May 20 and 21st can be a little bit giving you distress by land, money, property, and those bosses that I talked about in your dailies. Um, Remember, I told you it's because Pluto is opposite Mars, and that means a fight over some kind of power struggle and authority figure. So if you have family members that are Aquarius, I would watch out on these days, 2021. And I told you about your family members that are Taurus already, Leo. My family is made up of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So yeah, we better really be nice to each other this week. And comment below and tell me if there's certain signs that are repeating in your own family, because that's what happens. I do legacy readings and go all the way back. If you're Aquarius, May 20 and 21st also will be a little challenging, and I encourage you to get together with people that lift you up. You need some fresh air, Aquarius, and some fresh ideas. Things are changing for you, and they've been a little difficult for you, and they're going to be you're going to continue to go through some major change that eventually is going to be really, really good for you, but not so hard to get through. So be with lighthearted others and friends that support you, and be with those people that have your back. It's not going to be Leo right now, just so you know. Gemini and Pisces, I told you, you're not getting along at all, from the 20th to the 31st. Pisces is going to be pissed off at people that are trying to interfere and tell them what to do. And Gemini is going to be fed up with the excuses that Pisces always gives. So this is reality check time for both of those signs. Gemini is not going to put up with any more excuses, not going to put up with your drunkenness, your drugged up selves, or anybody who's drunk, drugged, and acting like an invalid. Gemini is going to wash her hands or his hands once and for all, and truth matters. Gemini and Pisces, so face it. The 31st can give you closure on an issue of trust that you've been embroiled with for the last months. And that's the end of my forecast. So thank you so much for listening, you guys. Again, I apologize if the sound quality was booming or sounding a little bit weird, but I'll see you soon when I do the June forecast. Take care, be quiet, be nice, let somebody else be a big old nasty mean boss, or let them have their way. And maybe the doorway. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.